Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jasmina from Jasmina Astrological Astrology. I am live today with one of the recent acquaintances that I met at a Kepler Symposium just over like almost 2 months ago. I have Sasha with me. Sasha, welcome. How are you today?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Oh no, it's my pleasure. So before we dive into the topic and why is Sasha here today, we met at symposium and she was a Kepler graduate doing her final thesis lecture on astrological signature of power, and she had great examples through living powerful women, and I think it's the voice we need to hear more and how is this shown in through astrology as well. I was fascinated with her talk, and she was kind enough to join me here today to share her research with you, which is a thorough research, great topic, and maybe it will intrigue you to do your own research as well. And today is October 24th, 2025, for you who are listening later. And we have Sun squared Pluto. So this is the perfect topic for today. So Sasha, before we dive deeper into your topic, which is also very Plutonian and Scorpio season kind of a feeling, tell me, please, how astrology found you and how did all this come to today?
Thank you, gladly. So I was interested in astrology and all sorts of psychology when I was a teenager. And so I bought my first book on astrology at 16. It was a sun sign astrology. I read it. I was like, that's it. It's putting us into 12 boxes, and that's all there is to astrology. So I put it aside and kind of forgot about it. And so it found me when I was going through a divorce and my world was falling apart and nothing made sense. And I had my first astrological reading at that time, and I was astonished how everything made sense. So astrology guided me back to my path, and ever since my intention was to study, to learn astrology so I could help other people understand themselves better, get reconnected with themselves, and just live a happier and more authentic life. So that's pretty much my journey. And
Yeah.
I'm a Kepler graduate. I'm really happy to be with Kepler. Learned a lot, and it's just amazing to be here with you today.
Oh no, that's awesome. I know many of us did go deeper into astrology through some kind of a crisis in life, which is also very Plutonian. so, uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm mentioning Pluto because Pluto is a significator of power in astrology. So, for you who are listening and maybe don't know, okay, tell us more about this topic. Why this topic, and what did you learn?
So, as I was always fascinated with the question of power and success and prominence, as a person with rising in Libra, Mars in 12th house in Libra, and as a business person I was building my career in a male-dominated business environment. I always questioned my own abilities and my own kind of prospects for my own success and prominence, so to speak. And so the typical descriptors of successful people, such as dominant, aggressive, ambitious, they were all very foreign to me. So ever since astrology found me, I studied rigorously charts of both women and men to understand if there are patterns behind prominence, if there's something to learn and apply, and also see what does my chart promise, what does my chart show. So my final project at Kepler, I decided to focus on power, and I chose 24 charts. So I went. I love Forbes. I love the magazine, and so I took their list of world's most powerful women, and found, unfortunately, only 24 charts to date, because it's really hard to find data. And I wanted good data. So I chose 24 charts of women, and I know that astrology is not gender based, but I wanted to study these wonderful individuals and learn from them as a businesswoman as well. So, and better understand what is behind their success. And each chart is unique, of course, and no single factor guarantees success. Astrology offers a symbolic map, and only the individual and an astrologer can see how those factors will unfold in somebody's life. And each person, of course, approaches their journey with their own sets of talents and challenges, right?
Yeah.
So,
But there's still patterns, right? There's still patterns. So you did find
yes.
something in common with all of this. So tell me more. I'm so curious.
Yes, absolutely. So I knew there wouldn't be one single factor that guaranteed somebody's success. It would be silly, but I thought that it would be a convergence of factors, and I wanted to see how many. And so, as Frank Clifford aptly stated, that we all have some sort of talent and a level of energy to attain our goals, but without courage, we can't truly express our potential. And so the theme, before we get into astrology of it, the theme, the recurring pattern was the discipline, focused, and courageous effort that ran through the lives of these women and their astrological profiles. So that was the kind of greatest thing to see. And so while astrology is certainly focused on bigger themes than just money and prominence and influence, there are many books of respected astrologers that directly or indirectly talk about success and prominence, power, influence. And so I read a lot of books, mostly focused on 5 books, and kind of gathered, distilled those factors. I came up with 22 indicators of success. And so collected all the data, personal data, and organized in a spreadsheet. And I wanted to see how many each chart would have, but also how many of these factors would consistently show up in the majority of the charts. So I thought that maybe if I go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you would like to share which books you consulted, because people are curious always to know if you know. If you don't know now, you can tell me later. I'll put in the description below, because people always like to know. If they want to dig deeper, they maybe want to read those books as well. Yeah.
I don't have them right. The list, I don't have them right
problem.
now.
This is,
but yes,
I didn't ask you for it. Sorry, I just came to my mind. So later, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There are plenty of books that I can give you the list of. So cool. So I thought that if I see those themes consistently in, let's say, 70% of charts, that would be something meaningful. So so the things that I looked at is something I'm sure we're all kind of know. That I thought that there will be a predominance of male signs, that masculine energy, the angularity, the cardinality, the angular cardinal sun and cardinal ascendant, everything cardinal and angular as much as possible. And of course that was silly, so that was not really what I found, but there was presence of that as well. I wanted to see the chart shapes. So there are chart shapes like locomotive, bowl, and bucket that typically talk about more focused energy and more directed focused energy. So I wanted to see if that's going to show up. Of course, the highlighted Gauquelin zones, those zones were the Michelle Gauquelin's work on those zones that can indicate more prominence potential. And there were other 2 things that I wanted to see. So out of balance planets, it's an interesting concept. Those planets that are out of bounds typically express their energy more uniquely, because they're not constrained by the sun. They go beyond that. So I wanted to see, for example, an out of bound Mercury is responsible for kind of helping an individual see things from an unexpected point of view. And so those people can be brilliant or interesting in some way. Out of bound Mars it usually defines a workaholic. So it's cool. And then the last thing I wanted to see is also something I wasn't quite familiar with yet, as stationary planets. So, but I've read in multiple books, multiple books consistently mention that having a stationary planet in somebody's chart can have that planet very successful, very potent, and it's in its expression, especially when it is connected to personal planets. So I not only looked at whether a chart had that, but also whether that planet was prominent, angular, or connected to personal planets in the chart. So the results kind of largely aligned with my initial expectations, confirming that many of astrological indicators of these, the ones that I was looking at, traditionally associated with power and success, were showing up. but there was no single factor. There was no single
Okay.
kind of sign or energy universally present in all 24 charts. Several recurring themes did stand out. But of course, the divergence in the every chart is at the end unique. So it was also amazing and fascinating to see how those factors would integrate in one chart differently, very differently in each chart. So yes, 19 charts had a cardinal or angular Mars. That makes sense, right?
Yeah. Okay.
20 charts
Cool.
had Saturn in a cardinal sign or angular house or conjunct to an angle.
Sorry, just interrupt you for a second. For those who are listening and they don't know which signs are cardinal, so just to repeat, Aries, Libra, Cancers, and Capricorns are cardinal signs. And angular houses, we mean 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th. For those who don't know, I want to research more. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So so there was and a lot those books on prominence and power did talk about the need to have a strong Saturn, because without a consistent effort, success cannot be attained. So it did support the idea of focused ambition and resilience and all the lessons that traditionally Saturn teaches us. And in the charts, in 4 charts where Saturn was not cardinal or angular, it had multiple aspects with personal planets or angles. So of course there was strong activity in Gauquelin zones. So that was just something, again, great to see, and it reinforces the idea that angular proximity of a planet amplifies the influence, expression, the need to be seen and take its place in life. And all charts had at least 2 planets, and 19 charts had 4 or more planets in Gauquelin zones, sectors. So 18 charts had bucket, bowl, or locomotive shape or their variations. So again, reflecting strong focus, internal drive, sense of direction, goal orientation, self-reliance, all those qualities that, of course, are necessary in any type of business or presence and entertainment. Every chart had significant aspects between Saturn and or Pluto and personal planets and or angles. So again, the themes of discipline, endurance, and the need to go through a transformation. Pluto is not just power, right? It's our ability to go through. Those women went through a lot of crises. The ability to go through a crisis and come out of the storm stronger is very, very important.
So before you continue, I know some of the people are probably going to ask, "Oh, but what if I don't have any of this? That doesn't mean does that mean that I'm not going to be successful?" Probably doesn't, right? Because it's because there's like a lost potential. Like many of people who have all this prominent stuff, if they don't use it, they don't do nothing. So it's all about us. Yeah, that's true. But anyways, what are your thoughts on it? Just quickly, so we don't discourage other people.
No. So first of all, there are so many different indicators, and I bet everybody has 1 or 2 at least. Those women who are the world's most powerful women, right? We know them, we know about them. It's, of course, it's a very special chart. It's a very special kind of circumstance that everything fell in one place and it happened. Right.
Do you think maybe sorry, because it's so maybe it's just they're prominent in the world. There are many probably successful women and men that we don't know about, right? Because they're just not in the world sphere, but they're still successful in one way or another. Yeah. So
right. And if we could have I took AA and A charts only, right? If we had data, if we had reliable data about all sorts of different people, it would be amazing to see. Because of course, those charts of these women, particular individuals, are they're full of these factors because they are on this list.
Yes.
Right. You don't have to have a lot of these factors, but also it's not just that. Like so my chart doesn't have a lot of these indicators, and I don't really want fame. That would be the last thing I would ever want. Right. So I just wanted to see if I can feel empowered, and I felt empowered by this research because, again, I looked at 22 indicators, and we all have something in our charts.
Yeah.
So it's really, those women scored high on those factors, but any amount of it, right? But also, kind of, there has to be a personal motivation, right, to rise to the occasion, to rise to the potential of your chart. It is a potential at the end of the day. So lastly, the 22 charts had at least one stationary planet. So that's something I'm very curious about to continue researching. It's suggesting a powerful emphasis on the specific energy of the planet.
Did you take in consideration the nodes, stationary nodes, or no?
I did
or
not.
You didn't?
No. So I used Placidus house. So I used double A and A charts. Placidus house system, just 10 planets, 4 angles, Ptolemaic aspects, because of course this research was very small scope.
No, it's amazing. I know you can go into, it's not that the point is, you can go deeper and deeper and in layers and layers, I know, but this is amazing, and you took the Forbes ones, so they were very prominent in the society, in the world. So like a good examples. I love it.
Yeah, they were perfect examples. Yeah. So these repeated features, they certainly suggest a correlation between certain natal configurations and the capacity for worldly achievement and influence and resilience. However, again, I saw so much diversity in those charts because every chart is very unique. So there was, I
think you froze. Are you here? Did I lose you? There you go. Technology. Sasha, did I lose you? Oh no, I lost Sasha. Okay, I hope she will come back. Okay, she's back. And you're back.
Yes. Sorry about that.
No, I love it. I'm very but plutonium, like disappearing, coming in. Okay, I love it.
Yeah. So it's just every chart had a unique blend of challenges and strength. And the common theme was not really a formula, but the combination of the potential and personal effort. So I learned a lot about these women, the women that I studied, and through interviews and articles, there was a consistent theme of struggling with imposter syndrome and not belonging and being pressured to conform and having a lot of self-doubt. So that was also very valuable. If those women who are so powerful still struggle with imposter syndrome, right? There's so much for us to learn from them.
I love it.
Yes, and yet they rose to the position of power through their focused discipline and strategic risk-taking and cultivation of courage.
So basically, you need to do things. Nothing fell into the lap. That's basically, you still have to work hard and go through ups and downs and accept failures, in order to succeed and start a lot of different things. Okay, do you have any? I think you prepared some examples for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, try sharing. We'll see how it goes. Yes, I love it. Okay, enter the scene.
Can you see the screen?
I see Abigail Johnson. She's the first one. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so it's and Abigail Johnson may not seem like a great example because she's a daughter of president of Fidelity, which she's now the president of Fidelity Investments. But when you listen to her talk, she talks a lot about her challenges. She never took advantage of her familial ties. She had to work through the ranks on her own and achieve her success, so she could feel comfortable when she is in a top position. So her power is very structured, reserved, and highly effective. She's a CEO and chair of Fidelity Investments, and they oversee more than $4 trillion in assets. So she is known for strategic and long-term planning and resilience and discretion. And one of her favorite quotes is, "See frustration is a motivating force. Work hard, have discipline, apply yourself, be curious, and seek to understand and communicate well." I mean, her chart.
I was going to say
the moon.
Moon and ascendant in Gemini really speaks out. Yes, cool.
Absolutely. So she had even she had only 13 out of 22 factors. So I think the highest was 19. Nobody scored like perfectly. And that's because it's not necessary. Again, it's all very individual. So she has a strong emphasis of masculine signs and Sun conjunct Mars in the seventh house. So it's cardinal Saturn, the ruler of her MC, and out of bounds Mars and Mercury. So she is brilliant as an individual and also works really, really hard. She does have a bucket chart shape, so she has focused energy, highlighted Gauquelin zones, and stationary Uranus and Pluto.
Wow.
So that is, again, just something very, very interesting. So I think, again, Pluto can absolutely, according to many sources, Pluto has to be found and like in a prominent place in charts of business owners and politicians, and that's what we usually associate with Pluto, kind of the power and prominence.
And so, money, and actually it's wealth as well, money, wealth. Yeah.
Yes. So her family, of course, is very wealthy. She's a wealthy individual, and yet when you talk to her, when you see her on stage, there is nothing about wealth in her. She's very discreet. She's very down to earth. She's not about flashy kind of money. The money is kind of not seen. So she's very
okay.
discreet.
So for those who don't know, the Gauquelin, the Gauquelin zone. So it's around the angles, the ascendant, right? So that's how it usually goes, right?
So. Right, and there are different methods of determining Gauquelin zones. There is a little bit of a debate how many degrees, and so Michel Gauquelin studied charts and realized that he thought the angular houses will be really busy with planets, but according to his research, it was actually the 12th house and planets next to the ascendant, and maybe 10 degrees into the first house, and then third house and fourth house, that's a little bit different, but then sixth house and seventh house and ninth house and a little bit of the 10th house energy. So his research actually showed that it was the previous house before the angular that was busier. For example, Mars in 12th house in his research was prominent in the charts of athletes, and you would never expect Mars in 12th house, right? You'd think it has to be in the first, right, or in the 10th.
I noticed that with the singers and just actors. They have a lot of them have a lot of in 12th house. Like I've noticed people like with Sun, Sun in the 12th, they're very like famous, but they're they should be so hidden and not seen, but they're so seen. It's so very interesting. Yeah. I noticed that.
It is very interesting. If you think about those planets that are in the 12th house, they just have risen.
Yeah.
So they rose recently, and their energy is raw. They're not yet perhaps refined, and their expression is very much directed. Again, it's not something we always think about. 12th house is a hidden house, and everything is about undoing in hospitals. But in fact, it's so much more, so much power.
Yeah, and I just think she has the out of bounds Mars and Mercury, so she's like a wild one, would say. Like she, I'm thinking how much because she's coming from a like successful family. I think she just with what you wrote here, I still feel that she's very much unique on her own, and she didn't want to actually be listen to her family. I think she did her way. I still feel that she did her way with this out of bounds Mars and Mercury.
Yeah, she did. She actually was trying to get her, I believe, father to resign at some point. So it's not like she was just given this power. She had to take it. There was a lot that she again is a very discreet person. She's not going to open up about those kind of familial tensions that she had, but it wasn't an easy win.
I would say that. I would say Now I was just thinking, she probably did. She did has some fights with her father just because of Sun and Mars together, and with it's out of bound Mars. So I think that she really had to fight her way to success. I don't think it was her father. Oh, this is my daughter. She's going to take over. That wasn't like that for sure. Even without knowing her life, just by looking at her chart, it looks like it. So good for Abigail. Good.
Yes. Good point about Mars. And Sun Mars is, Mars Mars Sun and Mars with Moon. Those are, as we can see in Angelina Jolie's chart, those are also themes that stand up when there is fighting with the parent, or fighting, kind of growing up and trying to
with the authority in general,
build your own.
with the authority in general, whoever
And
it is a parent or a teacher or whoever it is.
Yes, and so those people who fight authority, they often become authority later when they know how to discipline themselves and stand up for themselves. So Angelina Jolie is another wonderful example. She often talks about personal power, resilience, and importance of authenticity and well-educated women, and a power of empathy and understanding in leadership as well. She's not only Oscar-winning actress and humanitarian, she's also the founder of multiple charities. She's frequently called a powerful force for global change. And in one of her interviews, she said, "Fight on, hold your nerve, know your rights, and never let anybody tell you that you're not precious, special, and above all, equal." So in her chart, we see strong emphasis again on masculine signs and cardinality, and cardinal Mars, conjunct MC, all these kind of more traditional signatures, and Mars is in opposition to Pluto. She also has stationary Uranus and Pluto.
Very interesting.
Again, highlighted Gauquelin zone, and cardinal Saturn, which has many aspects with personal planets. So she's a terrific example, and went through a lot in her personal journey, and it was very interesting to learn about her. We all sometimes, I think a lot of people know her as again an actress, and her marriage to Brad Pitt and all their
drama,
legal battles,
drama. Yeah.
But not many people know how much effort and time she spent going to African countries and representing charities and really trying to help people. She's an incredible woman, so much more than
and I'm thinking, even her roles, her acting roles are so like her chart, like the Tomb Raider, and even the movie when she met Brad, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's very, very Pluto Mars opposition. So it's interesting how not only through her personal life but through her professional life we can see her choosing the roles, the characters that actually can help her succeed, which is very, very interesting as well. Smart.
Yes. That I think in the majority of her roles, that ascendant ruler Moon in Aries shows up a lot, right? Her movies are always very intense and a lot of energy. And there are also movies that finally show her as a little bit more fragile and vulnerable, where you can learn more about mental struggle and her journey that is usually hidden. She's just so beautiful that, of course, a lot of her roles were just putting her in the roles of a beautiful girl and no more than that. So it's great to see a different side of her.
Yeah, excellent example.
So this is my third favorite woman off the list. Christine Lagarde is just an incredible individual. Her power is rooted in structure and patience, long-term vision. She's the president of the European Central Bank and first woman to lead IMF. She has proven her journey, just breaking glass ceilings basically as she was rising through the ranks, and her profession is incredible journey. And so she often says, power is not given to you, you have to take it. And I think that is something a lot of women struggle with. We think that we should be noticed, right? Our efforts should be noticed. We don't like to self-promote traditionally, and that is such a great advice, because nobody is going to pat you on the back in business and give you a raise. You have to go and show why you're worthy. And of course, we all through our journeys struggle at some point with that sense of worth and showing the worth and showing that we are equal and we are worthy of the money that we want to make, or attention, or whatever we're looking for in life. So she is she has strong angularity and cardinality, of course, and angular Mars Saturn conjunction again, bold chart shape, and highlight Gauquelin zones, stationary Neptune, and
That's
angular
interesting.
Pluto. Yeah.
That's interesting with the Neptune. I was thinking, wow, that's very interesting, because maybe she was very intuitive. I'm looking at Mars Saturn in Scorpio, right? So and with this stationary Neptune, so there's probably some kind of intuition also that guided her into gaining power. I'm just a
I
thought.
think so. I think so. She was told initially. She was told, "You will never be an attorney." She was the first female attorney in her firm, and I think that intuition is it has to be a big part of it. If when that was in the 70s and in France, and she was you have to keep listening to yourself, not to give up. Right, where when everybody around you tells you one thing about you, you have to have a pretty strong inner voice to say, heck no, I'm gonna do this, I'll be that person. So it's just, she's incredible. I really encourage everybody to read more about her. She's an incredible individual.
Amazing. Such a great examples. I think we're going to go through all of them, because I'm just curious. I won't let you stop until you finish all of them now.
I think we're good on time as well. I thought we would.
Yeah.
Longer. So.
I'm just I know I listened to this already, but now I'm just reflecting back on what you said. Like when I listened to you for the first time, and I love it again. Like I'm so anyway. Beautiful. Thank you so much for doing this. This is such a great gift for everybody who wants to learn astrology. Thank you so much. Great research.
Thank you.
I know, but you put a lot of effort in it. I'm just a messenger. I'm just sharing your message to the world. But this is really amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next? Ooh.
So Diane Sawyer, she is an incredible American journalist and received a lot of awards. She, of course, her power, strong communication skills, public visibility, and delivering with clarity and calm authority. She's controversial, I have to say. When I watched her her interviews, she has a famous interview with Britney Spears where she made her cry. So she's a very strong female, and I bet it was really hard to get through. I think she was one of the first hosts on TV, female hosts, and so it was, I'm sure, not an easy journey for her at all. So yes, news anchor. She was the first female news anchor, and still considered a powerful figure in media and public influence. And so we see, again, masculine signs, a lot of them, angularity, cardinality, again, Mars Saturn conjunction, angular Mars and Saturn, and then cardinal angular, yes, bold chart shape, out of bounds Pluto, which was interesting, highlighted Gauquelin zones again, and stationary Neptune, again, with multiple aspects with her personal planets. So
interesting. Is she still alive? A stupid question. Is she?
Yes, I believe so. I was doing this research as of last year, so I haven't heard that she passed away. Since then.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, she's such a strong. I'm looking at Pluto going opposing her Mars, so I'm thinking what's happening there. Anyway, but a full seventh house. So she did, I think doing interviews with others one-on-one. I think that's where her power was really seen with the full seventh house in Leo, like interviewing celebrities. You just said interviewing celebrities and gaining fame through that. Very interesting. I mean,
yeah, you can, the sun in the 12th sometimes indicates kind of being behind the scenes. And when you interview someone, right, you put the person in the drive, kind of in the light, and you are behind the scenes a little bit. And I think she may have stepped down from her position maybe around that time when you were looking at the opposition from Pluto. Well, she's experiencing it right now, I guess,
Yeah,
right? Still experiencing
yeah,
it.
very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
I know.
interesting.
I heard of her, but I never knew so
Yeah.
much details. Like her chart is really, it's fascinating to see all these similarities between the charts. It just really, wow, blows my mind. A lot of, mm,
It is, and it's so also, right, we see a lot of themes. For example, if you take Mars, Saturn,
mm.
it's not something easy to grow
I
up
have
with,
that.
right? Saturn, okay, right?
Conjunct,
You can
yeah, yeah.
share about your,
I have a Saturn
yeah,
Mars conjunction in Leo in the 11th house in Placidus, and
okay.
yeah, well,
How
I
did
have
you
been
experience
in
that?
my youth. I have been definitely struggling with confidence. You know, going through this stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
then after just in my in my 40s and up, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm taking this Saturn seriously, and you know, in understanding that it takes time and hard effort to do
Yeah,
something. In my youth, it was just, but I never gave up. That was one of the, I never give up. I will never give up. Yeah,
it does teach
yeah,
you grit, right? If it's like a
yeah,
block. Initially, it's a block, and then as you
yeah,
grow, right, and
yeah,
master the lessons that Saturn brings.
yeah,
Saturn is
yeah.
incredible. So another great example is Diane
Mhm.
von Furstenberg. I didn't know why so few people knew about her. She's actually creator of a wrap dress. So the first kind of dress that goes around, you know, and you wrap it instead of putting it up. So she was the creator of this dress.
Oh, I never knew that.
Right? Yeah, she's incredible. She is. So she's regularly referred as a woman who owns her power. She
Ooh,
speaks about
okay.
empowerment all the time. She runs a platform for women in empowering women. And yeah, she heads the DVF Awards for Powerful Women and advocates female empowerment all the time. So she, in one of her interviews, she said that she didn't know who she wanted to be when she was younger, but she knew she wanted to be a powerful woman. So that is incredible with the Sun in Capricorn conjunct Mars in Capricorn. That
Yeah, very.
tracks. And the Pluto, where is Pluto? It's right on her MC. So
Wow.
it makes so much sense. Yes. So she's definitely a statement of power. And also has emphasis on masculine signs, all the cardinal, Sun, MC ruler, and Mars, and all of these things. And has out of bounds Mercury, Mars, and Pluto.
I was gonna say she was probably fighting her authority as well, like the first example. Like I just feel it, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
starting from parents onwards. Yeah.
She wasn't given anything as well, and
Yeah.
so she had to work really hard to get where she was, and now she's just again an incredible example, and just a great mentor to learn from about feeling power. uh, yeah,
I
the
love it.
next one is another one that is just
Mm,
an incredible individual. I mean, you know, we see her, most people just see her as a model. And that's how I started. I was like, okay, well, she's very wealthy because she's a model. What else? What else is there?
okay.
But she's so much more than just a celebrity. She combines it with a purpose-driven activism. She invested a lot of money. She's an advocate for Gaia herbs,
Mm,
and a representative, and she really advocates for global change and climate, all the efforts about our climate. She in environmental causes. She sees her power, and so slightly different. So she talks a lot. She goes much deeper than just earthy kind of um, prominence or ambitions. She sees power as an inner
yeah.
strength and self belief and reflection. She really talks a lot about that. She left home when she was 16,
Wow.
and she left Brazil to become a model. And of course, we all probably are familiar with the story. Not many people
Yeah.
make it, and so she was um, and she went through an incredible
Yeah.
journey.
I'm looking just as that
And
Pluto Venus trine is exact. So, you know, having that inner power already in her, feminine power, literally.
yes.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
And she emphasizes the need to trust one's intuition and focusing on personal growth and not being afraid to challenge oneself. It's not about effort. She had to put so much effort into to get where she is in life right now. So she has a stationary Uranus.
In Uranus. But I think Saturn as her chart rule is in Virgo, so she really, as you mentioned, all of these things that she's doing, she wants to be of service and help others, and it's very important for her. I love that. Yeah, she's determined.
Very determined. And she shares, there are a lot of different interviews with her where she really talks about your own journey, that we're all responsible for our own self-worth, and again, trusting our own intuition. So that was really great. A totally different side of her. This woman, I believe we're all familiar with. She is she's different in that I actually think that I made a mistake. She doesn't have an emphasis on masculine signs. She is very much different and from what you would see in a politician. So her character reflects resilience, discipline, and endurance in the face of scrutiny and defeat. But what she has achieved, whatever opinion you have about her, she achieved so much in her life. She was the first U.S. woman nominated for president by a major party. She's Secretary of State, U.S. Senator, former First Lady. And she has spoken a lot about power, particularly in relation to international affairs and women's rights. She often talks about her mother, who encouraged her to face criticism and not be beaten down by it, and take it seriously, but not personally. So, and in one of her interviews, she shares, never let criticism destroy you, knock you down. You have to learn to deal with it, and you can build resilience. And what a resilient chart that she has, right? She has a conjunction of Mars, Pluto, and Saturn.
Yeah, that's number one. Yeah, that's number one. I can see it.
Yeah. She has out of bounds Uranus.
Wow.
And stationary Pluto, which, stationary Pluto, it just really resonates when you think about her, right?
I know she's a lot of Scorpio. Yeah, a lot
powerhouse.
I know. A lot of Scorpio plus this Mars, Pluto in a conjunction really tells her about, nobody can BS me. Nobody, right?
Right. Yeah. So and she, I think her kind of problem is she's very, very smart, right? She's very well educated. She may not be very liked because of her, how much like in the lower part of the chart she's not outgoing, she's not warm and fuzzy. So I believe we're just not ready yet for that type of personality for as a president. But she is academically, she's very, very smart. So I think that's what worked kind of against her, because she holds a lot of power within herself. She's not. It's maybe harder for her to share.
I think it's an emotional power. I think it's also a lot of emotional power because, first of all, her husband was a president, and then his affairs and all that stuff that she went, and she still didn't. It didn't set her back. It didn't.
She didn't back down.
She didn't let that define her. That's what I think. She didn't let that define her. Like that's like it's his shit. Excuse my language, not mine. Like I'm detaching myself in a way from that, in a sense. Right?
And how hard is it, right? You get defined as a woman who was cheated on, and it's just an incredible injustice that she had to deal with at that time, and she dealt with it really well. So she's also an incredible individual. So Mackenzie Scott is very different from all of the ones that we just looked at, in a way that her power shows. It shows not through necessarily what you own, but what you give away. she's a philanthropist, and nobody knows, nobody knows anybody who is more generous than she is. She gives away a lot of money for various causes, and she's just an incredible individual who doesn't need to be seen. I couldn't find any interviews with her.
Right? Was she born into money? Was she kind of?
Oh
No?
no, not at all. So she. Oh, I'm so
Interesting.
sorry. So she is Bezos' wife.
Yeah.
So wife of Bezos. They built the business together, and she received I don't know how many billions once they got divorced. And so she then got married and to a teacher, I believe, and they decided, we don't need this money. We're gonna give it all away. And so she's been giving away money, and a lot of, in like millions and millions of dollars, ever since she got divorced.
But that's so interesting with all that Taurus in the first house. You would say, me, I want it all, So wow,
Yes.
hats off to her.
Yes.
Wow.
It's an incredible chart.
Which reminds us that we should not judge a person by the chart. You need to know the context, right? So because in the first glance you'll say, look at this Aries, Taurus, first house, like, oh my God, this person can be so selfish and just me, but it's not. See, it literally wobbled in the best way on the other side. I love that.
That is absolutely true.
I love it. And that's a huge power to have and to give it away. That's powerful because it's hard for people, right? Great example.
Of course. How many people, right?
Right.
They hold on to their money. They don't want to share. And that's incredible. Well, this woman we're all familiar with, and she's synonymous with the power of storytelling, brand authority, emotional influence. And she's not only a talk show host, producer, she's also a big philanthropist and known for her as one of the most powerful women in media worldwide. So she is dedicated to empower others, and women, of course, included, and promotes social change, and is an advocate for education, trauma healing, women's rights. So her chart is also kind of, you look at it and you're like, okay, well, there isn't this, like the charts, a couple of charts that we looked at the beginning, where they were screaming prominence, right, of some sort. This chart is different. And yet she has lots of indicators of influence. Influence can come in different ways. And she struggled with imposter syndrome for a long time, and not feeling that she deserved all the success she was getting, attributing accidents and kind of like, well, I was just lucky to be here. Not recognizing her own achievements and her own role in those achievements. We all have, right? There is a role of luck in everybody's life to be somewhere at the right time and the right place. But I'm
also looking. Yeah, I know you didn't look at that, but I'm thinking her Chiron on the North Node just connected with the nodes. Like she found her purpose through her pain and empowering that instead of being a victim and saying, "Oh, poor me," she took that pain and she really did her herself and everybody else like a justice to use that pain to actually create good in the world for others who are also in pain and help them.
Right.
Amazing.
Right. To empower others through opening up about their trauma. Right. And do it on live TV. That was unheard of before her, I believe. So people wanted to hear about success. Nobody wanted to hear somebody's traumatic story, but she made it into, she was able to sell it, basically.
I love it.
And share. And she's an incredible individual as well. And so she's very much like locomotive, chart shaped, the bowl and
so Jupiter
bucket, very focused.
So is Jupiter the one who is in charge of the locomotive? So that's also significant.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a significance of sharing, the abundance, because Jupiter is where we have abundance. So abundance of knowledge and information and sharing on the media, because it's in Gemini. And she had a talk show every day, like literally sixth house. She had she was one of the first ones to have those talk shows that go every day,
Yes.
So that's very interesting to see that.
Right, right,
Lovely.
absolutely.
Before you go on, just want to say
Okay.
hi to
Yeah.
Kathy's here. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Hi. And the last one
Okay.
that I wanted to cover, again, one of my favorite individuals in
Mm.
media, Rachel Meadows. Her power comes, of course, from her intelligence and public presence and her persuasive commentary. She's an incredible journalist, very powerful voice in political journalism. So she has a masculine dominance of masculine energy and cardinality and angular Mars, but this time conjunct Jupiter and not Saturn. But she has locomotive chart shape as well, and a lot of planets in Gauquelin zone, stationary Saturn and Jupiter, which are very much integrated into her chart, and very active Pluto as well. So
which is politics.
she
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why she covered politics, probably, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and she writes about democracy. So she I think one of her latest books is about what's happening and what has been happening in our society and democracy, and how it is easy to believe that democracy can sustain a lot of pressure. Democracy is pretty
Yeah.
fragile, even in the West. It's something that we have to defend. So
I
she's
love
just
that.
has an incredible power.
An attorney for democracy.
Yeah.
I love that. That is so cool. She's literally a voice of democracy. Ah,
Yes, she is.
I love that. Oh,
Yes.
such great.
So that's what
Oh my God,
yeah.
this was more than I could ever ask from anybody. This is, you're so generous with your research and knowledge, Sasha. This was amazing. I know many people are going to look at this and be thankful to you, because this is, it blows my mind. I noticed something. I noticed that many of these women have 29 degrees, either rising or moon or sun, or 0 degrees, which is also something very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those last degrees and
It
first
is.
degrees are also very powerful by itself.
Indeed.
Thank you again very much. So before we say goodbye, tell people where they can find you. What are you offering at the moment? Tell us more.
Sure. So I have a consulting business. You can find me. You can email me at pathfindingastrology@gmail.com. I have a very new. I'm a very new addition to Instagram, so you can look at Pathfinding Astrology on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm only developing it, and I serve clients with working with clients on natal astrology, so analyzing their natal chart to help understand
Mm-hmm.
themselves better. And I love looking at vocational astrology, so
Excellent.
understanding your talents and things that can help you in life, finding not only a vocational kind of path, but also what makes you feel
I
alive.
love
And
it.
of course, talking a lot about the North Node and your overall calling in life, and as well as horary astrology and relational astrology, and a little bit of evolutionary astrology as well. I
Oh,
love that
that's
as well. So
amazing. See, Sasha is versatile, smart, as you can see, and a great researcher. So she really goes into depth. I love that. Thank you so much. I think I put your Instagram information below. So people, you can send her messages or find her, as she mentioned. Thank you again. Until the next time,
thank you.
everybody.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Yasmina. I wanted to say thank you so much for letting me share my story and the story of these wonderful, tremendously successful women.
Well,
It's
it takes one to know one. That means that's why you chose this topic. There you go. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining. And if you have any comments, of course, always like, share, subscribe, because it helps the world of astrology to go more into the world. And don't forget to follow Sasha on Instagram and send her an email if you need more information. Bye, everybody.